Hi, I'm AJ DeBonis, and welcome to Interfaith Matters. In this episode, we talk with NYPD Clergy Outreach Unit Detective Mohamed, who is also a member of the NYPD Muslim Officers Society. Detective Ayman shares what the NYPD is doing to engage New York City's 8,000 plus faith communities in working together to break stereotypes, build trust, and improve safety and quality of life for all New Yorkers. He speaks on recognizing our common humanity in each other and what it means, in his words, to be an officer working in the heart of the community with the community in their heart. Learn ways that you and your faith community can partner with local police precincts to bring citizens and police together in positive interactions that can strengthen police-community relations. I was told that you and the Interfaith Center of New York, from people who've been there longer than I have, go way back. When did you join, first of all, the NYPD, and how did you first start working with the Interfaith Center?
Hi, thank you very much for inviting me for this interview. My name is Detective Mohamed. I joined the police department at 2007. It's a beautiful 13 years journey. Start relation with the Interfaith Center, I would say from 2010. Met many people there, including Dr. Sarah Saeed, Reverend Chloe Breyer, my sister Dolly now, and the relations are still continuously strong.
Could you maybe give us some insight about what it was like serving, what it is like serving in the NYPD Muslim Officers Society, and just in general, what are some of the sentiments that you witnessed of NYPD officers towards the Muslim community and Muslims toward the NYPD over the course of your time, both on the force and in the society?
Well, the relation between any community, it goes up and down, but we really, right after the 9/11, a few officers gather and formulate the Muslim Officers Society, and it's a body of officer to help the current officer at the NYPD. There were a handful of them, and the community in general, just to build a relation between them and the department and other city agencies. And I think they did a great job of adding more officers to the NYPD and clarify a lot of the misunderstanding and build a trust between the community, the officer, and the police department.
And when was that society started?
2007. I remember joining the Muslim officer while wearing the recruit from the academy T-shirt. And it was a great honor to be part of the beginning of it. With a few of the leaders that they started this was just maybe 5 officers only, and now we have close to 2,000 members serving in the NYPD. Some of them in the executive level.
In 2012, there were some tense moments between the NYC Muslim community and the NYPD. I was wondering if you could tell us what work was done to kind of heal community relations during that time between the police and Muslims.
There's always a relation go ups and down due to many factors, but moving along that the officer took upon themselves to clarify a lot of the misunderstanding in many ways. One of them is explaining the religion, explaining that what it is, and also build trust between the community and the officers and other city agencies. And this was done through many things. Some of them is going to the mosque, introducing themselves, asking the youth to join. The department also helped in creating some of the program that to engage officers and the Muslim community and precisely in soccer and cricket games, which led to at this time to have some of these youth becoming a current police officer, serving alongside their other member of the service from other faith. The executive also get engaged with the Muslim officers in many ways. Some of them is like we held every year the pre-Ramadan conference, which is celebrating the holy month of Ramadan, and gather all the leaders, answering questions, having this frank conversation with them of how we can build trust, how we can work together, how we can understand the sensitivity of certain community. And due to my role as doing the clergy right now, I'm honored to do this with other faith, not just the Muslim, whether the Jewish, the Hindu, the Sikh, every religion and denomination in the city. As that's why our partnership with the Interfaith Center, because we serve everyone in the city, regardless the religion and the ethnicity.
Have you ever had any? You mentioned that you have these programs of kind of getting involved with youth playing soccer and cricket, and that young persons from those programs have joined the force. Have you had any continuity between meeting young persons in those contexts and then later, serving alongside them? Like, were there any kids in those programs that you kind of knew as a teenager and now are serving next to you?
Absolutely, we had and it was a great joy. We announced them in the pre-Ramadan to the whole community, and they have a round of applause to how they are, and not just to join the police department to be a police officer. We have a big segment of them as an auxiliary officer, which is a volunteer role, not getting paid, adding to the explorer or the cadet. Some of these other programs that doesn't make you exactly become just a police officer, but being someone who's serving the community at large and being part of the city of New York to help everyone. It's not just the Muslim community, which is close to 1 million of them in the city, but how we work together in unity, I think, is the key. And some of these young folks becoming a police officer now, after a long ride of being just a teenager playing soccer, is a great success.
Can you think of any moments by virtue of occupying these two identities of being both Muslim and a police officer, where you've been able to either, one, break stereotypes about being a Muslim or about being a police officer, or two, are there any ways in which you uniquely could build trust in ways that others may not have been able to?
I think I'm really honored to be also a practicing Muslim, and give me a really the joy to serve other faith and have this commonality of humanity that we all together able to worship freely. And I do recall one incident. The first time ever I was in Union Square, and I think we were working on a protest, not a protest actually, was working to a rally against a member of the Sikh faith. They were killed in different state, if I recall. It was a very heinous incident. And I seen the different faith leader from the Jewish, the Muslim, and other faith leader coming in and support, which is something that we really encourage. And I participated in a Muslim prayer with them against this incident. And I think I was the first time I prayed in uniform. And I think it went well, because we have to be part of this help, whether it is the incident targeting Sikh, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu. I think this is the segment of the police department is the most diverse police department in the world, that we here to support and help everyone.
Do you think there's any sense in which you're being a practicing Muslim, any part of your own kind of understanding of the faith that influenced your decision to go into the vocation of serving as a police officer? Are they, for you, kind of interrelated in any way?
I think as a person who practicing and kind of like study all religion, I understand that the commonality of the major religion is exactly asking you to do almost the same thing. Maybe a different way of practicing, but it's basically all the same principle of being a good, productive member of humanity. And I think this is it depends of how deeply you're involved with your faith. But I think it's exactly that what is the noble work as a police officer, to help the helpless, extending a hand to someone who need help, regardless of being recognized or not. I did witness through my work, officers saving lives day in and day out. Nobody witnessed this, nobody see this, and every single day this is happening. And I think this is exactly interact to what is my belief and other belief.
I understand that I want to get your title right here. You are the NYPD's Clergy Outreach Unit Detective?
Yes.
All right. Can you explain your current role as NYPD's Clergy Outreach Unit Detective, and maybe give us a little bit of history? When was the unit established, and for what purpose?
I think you have a wonderful role with another member of the service to serve close to 8,000 houses of worship throughout the city of New York, all religion and denomination. Most of them, they'll say amen after the prayer, and I think it's a fitting name, as you see. But 2014, Commissioner Brand formulated an engagement with the officers to suggest and have an ideas and share all these things, and we call the re-engineering to the department. And I humbly recommended an outreach personnel to go out and to be specifically working with all houses of worship on the ground. And kindly they like the idea, they formulate the unit, and we've been always since this time going out, building relation with the one that we have, and making relation with the new one that we don't have. And as a city of immigrant in New York City, I think it's very important that we have a role with religious leaders. As an immigrant myself, people tended to go to houses of worship first before going to the police department. And we find the need that to have this good partnership with these community with the sole purpose of building, maintaining, providing help, being there's someone with them in case they need anything. It make me really engage throughout the city in any aspect with this religious leader, whether from the Cardinal Dolan to A.R. Bernard or Rabbi Bataznik or any of the major player, or even the small bishop or reverend or imams, just to bring something to them in case that they need it, and have their understanding, and just to try to learn from them to serve them in a better way. So it is an amazing role, really, and it's important that for us to engage with the community and the community leaders and the people who are attending these houses of worship, especially at the time of COVID. We are engaging virtually right now with a lot of them, including the Interfaith Center, with a bi-weekly clergy call, just to hear from them and have feedback and how we do our work and how we could serve them in a better way.
Is there anything you could say in the event that a faith community might currently be a bit hesitant to engage with law enforcement? Are there any kind of words of wisdom or things that maybe you would say to a religious leader at this time?
You know what, we are committed to serve and protect the community even when we are accused of coming short. But our commitment to the community is to that we have to do harder work. We have to be better. And we have the new chief of community affairs, Chief Madry. We have an event today actually in Queensbridge. We have events everywhere in the city, trying to rally the clergy, the community against gun violence that taking life every day from start with 1 year old. You know, as a father myself, it's a breaking heart. So we cannot do this alone, and I think unity is the key to work together, engaging and hearing from them. I know that we're not perfect, but we're looking to do better, and I think we will never do this alone. I always say that police, community, and clergy must work together.
Speaking of clergy and the police working together, could you tell us a little bit about the Clergy Liaison program and how leaders of religious communities in NYC might help to further build community relationships with the police?
So quickly, the program started after the 1991 Crown Heights incident, and in 1993 they start formulating this program, which is basically having a few members of the community of the respective clergy from each precinct throughout the city. We have 77 precincts. Every commanding officer would select up to 5 of them to represent the dynamic of the precinct, and they work as a bridge builder between the respective community and the police department. And then I can't imagine any time that's important to utilize them as of now. We really count on them. We really want to work with them, not just the one that selected by the police department, but also any clergy who would extend their hand to help us, whether coming to the roll call, giving a spiritual prayer to service to the officer himself, or bring the officer and the community together in terms of maybe one of these events, like the event that I mentioned that Chief Magic been doing throughout the city, or any engagement or any hate crime that happened, that we rally all the clergy members from diverse faith to support one another. For example, if something happened to a Jewish person, we'll have an imam and a chaplain, a reverend come to support, and vice versa. It's very important that that we work together, we understand each other's, and know that we have to have this uncomfortable conversation sometimes. And it started by houses of worship.
What steps would you say a faith community could take to foster or start even engagement with law enforcement?
I think they're doing it right now, and I see this is with many churches throughout the city. They've been involved in conversation, inviting executive from the police department and other city agency, because it's our city and this is our people. I just want to bring to your attention that the humanity of officers, that when I go home, I take off my uniform, I'm like everyone else. And we have 50,000 of them, civilian and uniformed members of the service, live in New York City mainly. They are part of New York City. It could be affected with anything like everyone else. They are member of houses of worship themselves. They are worshiping in churches, mosques, synagogues. So some of the leaders of our city, they took upon themselves to take this initiative role of bringing all these entities together in a frank conversation. And I think it's very important that we keep engaging in conversation to see what could be changes, what things could be done differently. So in order to bring this gun violence down, in order to allow officers to do their job freely and in a proper way, and also to change things that might be ineffective, or you think that could be a change in the police department or any other city agencies.
I like your drawing attention to the kind of concept of the humanity of police officers, because I think for a lot of people, it's a kind of conceptual category, right? To visualize somebody or see somebody or think of somebody as, part of the law enforcement wing. And I'm wondering, do you experience that at all in your own religious community? Are you, is there, any way in which the kind of that category or identity seems to come first for other people in your experience?
I think it comes in, I might practice, I don't want to say practice it more, but I lead the prayer sometimes, here. Matter of fact, I just spoke to, because to show you that the dynamic of the police department, how things is really going through the right direction. We allowed to pray a Friday prayer in headquarters, One Police Plaza, every Friday, and I'm honored to lead the prayer sometimes. And this is a significant that officers are allowed to pray, inside the headquarters of the police department, and to show you that we respect everyone. And if I go to house of worship and that, I think it sends a good message to the youth that you belong. You could be someone like this officers or this captain or this detective. It's in the good message, and you apply this to many other faiths. A few days ago, we had a Zoom conference with the Sikh officers, and the Sikh community was the chief Madri. And next week, we're going to have one with the Jewish community. So our engagement and showing that we respect everyone, and when we go to their house to worship, and keeping our own identity, because I'm proud Muslim. I think it showed that this is New York. New York is everyone here accepted. Everyone is allowed to practice freely and support one another.
We're living in a time when the nation appears torn over relations with law enforcement. I'm wondering, when you look back at maybe moments that you've experienced from your past, what similarities do you see between then and now? And are there any lessons that we could gather as a contemporary community that could be fruitful in thinking through how to heal community relationships and rebuild public trust, particularly between the Black community and the police community?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a very positive person. I believe tomorrow is another day and every day is a new beginning. And we learn from history that when things get too dark, I think it's about to get better. I hope so. I'm praying for that. The department took initiative from 2014, applying the NCO program, which is a few officers work in the same area all the time, committing to building relation. So we are looking to change from 2014, and we always looking to do better. Not too long ago, they implemented the YCO. The YCO is an officer just designated to work with the youth in the community. And I think the key answer for this is working with the youth. I think Police Commissioner Shea and Commissioner Parker, they are really committed to work with youth. And I think the answer for the gun violence and all of these incidents, if you look at the number of shooting and you look at the age, I think our engagement with youth, it has to be more. That's why we're utilizing our clergy contact. We're utilizing social media. We're utilizing any effort from non-for-profit or anyone that wanted to extend their hand to help us to reach out to youth, maybe provide them with some tangible things adding to the sport activity. We already opened a center for the first time ever in 127 Pennsylvania Avenue in the heart of the 7-5 precinct and PSA 2 to engage with youth. I think the key answer is we have to keep trying. We're not to give up. We will never give up. But we have to do this as in unity. We have to come along and also learn if there's anything that need to be changed in the police department. And I think we're open for change. We've been already doing this from 2014 until now.
I think a lot of people often conceptualize, again, faith as something that pertains to religious beliefs of a maybe metaphysical nature or religious practice. But when you think of faith as something that exists between persons in communities, what ways can we foster faith in each other, particularly, when there is a history, when there is, there are difficult moments in that history between communities. How do we, or how would you conceptualize fostering faith between persons and the law enforcement community?
Yeah, I think I love this question because this is one of the things that I enjoy the most of bringing people together. For example, after this interview, I'm going to go to a church to pick up face masks to bring it to a mosque tomorrow, and the bishop will come. And you would imagine that in a mosque in New York City, a church is providing help, and the following day maybe a mosque will do the same thing to a synagogue. I think it's very important that if we practice our religion, to interpret this to our action toward one another. Don't have to be the same faith. Could be through our family, society, other faith leader, other faith community. But to show that, I think is important that we should engage with each others, not in a comfort community. Like if I help a Muslim, I think that would be good and great. I'm a Muslim myself, but if I go to a Jewish, if I go to a Sikh, a Hindu, I think is more significant. It's sending a good message that I'm interpreting my faith, my value, my ethics of work to help all mankind, not just a small segment or my own kind, if I may say.
How do you think your faith has brought a level of humanity to your own work as a police officer?
Well, as I mentioned before, I think all the religions, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and they basically teaching the same principle and asking you to do good, help mankind, not to do the wrong things. And it's almost equivalent to the police officer duty of going out and the public expecting a high standard of police officers. Also remember that police officers are human as well too. There's sometimes go under pressure, and I think our faith would help significantly during a tough time when you go out in public and you would not expect that the people that you serve and protect, they would curse at you, or you see something that inappropriate. But I always feel like it's about officer working in the heart of the community with the community in their hearts. This is how I feel like serving the people of New York City.
If leaders of faith communities who are hearing this episode want to take an initiative to engage their community with law enforcement, how should they reach out? Can they contact their local precinct, or is there someone else they should contact?
We always encourage them to work with the local precinct. This is the area that they are represented. And there's many forums. As a matter of fact, today before coming to you, I sent to many leaders in the city the YCO contact number. The YCO are the designated officers who work with youth, adding to the NCO, which is the one that work with everyone. Also the form of the community council at each precinct. It's a monthly meeting open to the public. We encourage them to attend and visit. If it's done through Zoom now, contact the community affairs officer. And I'll be more than happy if you share our contact or my email address as well. We're here to help them. We're here to serve them. And I think we have to work together. There's no other way around that. We need to work together to decrease gun violence. We need to work together to help our youth. And I think we are doing a good job now with the police commissioner of having a focus work with the youth as a source of maybe some of this gun violence lately.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Anthony. Appreciate it.
Interfaith Matters is hosted by me, AJ DeBonis. This episode was edited and produced by our executive producer, Kevin Childress. Our co-producer is Michelle Polton-Simon. Learn more about us on our website at interfaithmatters.org. Thanks for listening.